Death on Clare Island, Chapter 4, Section B. Like many other Irish communities, Castlebar is a city whose beginnings date from the 1600s. Most of the buildings along Main Street originated around that time, but modern Castlebar also contrasts with the days of yore. Pharmaceutical and technology firms, for example, as well as railway access to Dublin, have contributed to the town's growth and continuously sprawling housing developments. And if you're wondering how I know all this, it's because of the researcher in me. I can't help myself. I'm an information junkie. The first thing I did when I arrived back in town was drive by Aunt Georgina's dress shop, the Golden Thread, on Main Street. I zigzagged through the maze of streets to park in the alley behind her shop. Rather than walk around to the front entrance, I entered through the back door. Georgina smiled the moment she saw me. "Star, darling, you look exhausted. Can I get you a cup of hot tea?" She and her assistant were working on a new dress display for the shop window. "I'm not looking for hospitality," I said. "I'm looking for answers. Why did you tell Bridget Sumner that I'd investigate her brother's death?" I frowned as I plunked down into the bulky but comfortable white leather chair near the front window. It was a perfect place for a husband or boyfriend while a wife or girlfriend shopped. "I didn't do any such thing," she said as she handed the dress materials to her assistant and placed a mug of water into the microwave. "I merely told her that you were experienced in these types of things and that you enjoy helping people in distress." "That's what you do, isn't it?" I do have to say, Aunt Georgina was one of the few people, other than lawyers and private investigators, who had some understanding of what I did for a living. You're you're somewhat right about that," I nodded. "The consulting detective's activities often lead to finding individuals who were presumed missing and why they disappeared to begin with." Ignoring my previous refusal of a cup of tea, Georgina handed me a steaming cup of Solaris Peppermint Delight, then placed herself on the shop's window seat. "So what's the problem?" she said. "This is a similar situation, isn't it?" I stirred the tea and took a sip. "Not quite. Normally in the States, a private investigator doesn't hire me to solve a murder. I don't usually interview people or conduct surveillance. I resell information that I research from databases, and often without so much as a name to go on, for finding missing heirs and adoption searches." I shifted my weight in the chair, which was turning out to be less comfortable than I originally estimated. "I want to know Matthew's side of the story," I then went on. "Not so I can solve his murder, if that's what it happens to be, but to give him a voice. Besides, I'm annoyed with the police's lack of interest in learning what took place. I mean, even though they considered him an insignificant drug user, doesn't he still deserve justice?" "Drug user?" Aunt Georgina shook her head. "There's no way that Ladine was involved in that kind of trouble." I took another sip of the tea. "Anyway, it's all moot because I'm packing up and leaving Ireland in the next few days." Georgina basically jumped from her seat. "Leaving? When someone needs your help? Star, I don't think you can do that." "I just want to find my mother," I told her, "or at the very least find out what happened to her. I've lost everyone I've loved. Some days I don't think I have it in me to suffer through any more losses." Resting her hand on my shoulder, Aunt Georgina held my gaze with her eyes. "Stop feeling sorry for yourself," she said. "You're an attractive and wealthy young woman. Others aren't nearly as fortunate. Your success brings with it a responsibility to the world community. And right now, the community you're in is Castlebar. So let me tell you what I know about this terrible situation." I regarded this 62-year-old woman who knew everyone in the countryside. Today she wore a chic, long-sleeved, belted olive green shirt dress with a matching scarf tossed casually around her neck. The colors highlighted her olive skin and brown eyes, and I realized she was right. The O'Briens ingrained into my head the Irish trait of leaving the world a better place as a result of being in it. You have more than others, Star, and as a result, you carry more responsibility, my adopted parents had said more than once. It was undeniable how their words echoed Aunt Georgina's. But what about other people's responsibility to me? I couldn't help wondering. I shrugged in resignation and said, I'll have another peppermint tea if you don't mind. Aunt Georgina hastened to the back of the shop to fulfill my request. As she did so, she explained that Matthew Sumner was engaged to a highly successful financial advisor named Sharon Dawson. I don't think he would have jeopardized their relationship, she said as she handed one of the teacups to me. I wonder if she was at the inquest. Anyway, first things first. I've made a dinner appointment for you with Bridget tonight at the Davit. She'll be there at 7 p.m. Then she grinned at me over the top of her cup. Speaking of the time, I'm late for an appointment of my own, so I'll see you later. She set down her cup and hurried out the door, leaving me and her assistant shaking our heads at each other.